Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of the things that have been going on in my life. And in today's video, I just want to talk about maybe this Monday, how it went, and why it's 2:57 a.m. So back to my bad habits of sleeping super late. But at least today I have a good reason, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. So today I started off the day with filming one of these videos because I didn't film it yesterday, and just basically had meetings in the morning and rushed to the office because I was going to have lunch with my first ever manager. At like he was my manager during my internship, and it was good to catch up with him. Basically I've kind of set up these lunches so that we can have like more or less of a regular contact, because literally it's been 3 years since my internship, and I think I've only seen him like 2 or 3 times since then, since the end of my internship. And so basically, like, I thought it was kind of too bad if we don't keep contact. So I just set up this recurring lunch catch up. Now it's gonna be like once every 2 months or something like this. So yeah, it was good to catch up with him actually. And I also learned that he has just run a marathon not that long ago, because I told him about the fact that I signed up for, like, that I'm gonna be running a half marathon in the end of September, and then a full marathon, my first ever full marathon, in the beginning of November, so November 3rd, Brussels marathon. Wish me luck. But yeah, it was very cool to catch up with him, and yeah, just to get a bit of the news from the team and all of that stuff. Just it was just good, and the food was good where we ate, and also like the weather was gorgeous in the morning, like all day until 6 p.m. where it like literally started raining, and there was like this kind of storm, but not exactly a storm, but yeah, it was raining a lot. But luckily, at the time that it was raining, I was working out at the gym, so I didn't even experience a bit of rain. But so actually today I continued reading a bit some of Adam Grant's book, Hidden Potential, and basically, like, I think I finished the chapter on deliberate play, which was, I think, one of my favorite chapters ever. And I think there's like 9 chapters overall, or 10 in this book. And basically, the book is split up in 3 sections. One section is for character skills. So basically, as part of these character skills, the idea of embracing discomfort, and then the second part, which is becoming a human sponge, so seeking feedback and applying it, and the third idea of this chapter is being imperfectionist, so being okay with imperfection in some areas, so that you can improve and not stay stuck in your own head. And basically then the second part, which of which basically deliberate play is the first chapter. I mean, it's not called deliberate play, it's called transforming the daily grind, but it talks about deliberate play. So basically the second part of the book is structures for motivation, so basically scaffolding to learn to overcome obstacles. And then the last part of the book is called systems of opportunity, opening doors and windows. And I think this sounds very interesting. I think the book is well structured overall. It's just takes three main ideas, breaks them down into three main ideas themselves, and it's actually very well structured. Actually, this is the first time that I analyze a book by just looking at the kind of structure. And it kind of helps me build a better mental model. So I think I'm gonna be using this kind of I don't know, summary of the book, or like syllabus. I can't find the word because it's 3 a.m. and I'm already super tired. But anyway, I hope you get my point. I'm gonna be using this kind of thing more often actually to kind of get the ideas of the books more into memory so that I can retrieve them faster. So that was some of the learnings that I've had today. Then actually one thing that I really enjoyed today is that I was listening to the Diary of a CEO podcast episode with the guy, the author of Personal MBA. So I have not read that book. I think his name is Josh Kaufman, and I think there were some very good insights overall in this episode. I think I was a bit too tired to take notes, but I took one note of something. I think I'm definitely gonna revisit this episode again because there were a lot of things that I thought were interesting, but I did not have the energy to take notes of those things. But basically, this idea of like when you're trying to market, the mistake that most people make is that they try to sell, like they market features and not benefits. And basically, the difference between features and benefits, he gives an example of like the iPod. When Steve Jobs launched the iPod, he talked about 1,000 songs in your pocket, and that's the benefit. And the feature that allows that benefit is basically 1 gigabyte of storage, right? So he did not advertise 1 gigabyte of storage, but he did advertise 1,000 songs in your pocket. And so that made it way more appealing, even though they are the same thing. But one of them appeals to a broader need, and it kind of makes it clear, like, what this will allow you to do. So as a takeaway is focus on the benefits, like the ultimate thing that you're trying to achieve, and not the specific feature that kind of allows you to do that. So don't advertise for megapixels, but advertise for high quality picture. I don't know. I'm not an expert at this, but I might be wrong. It might not be a good analogy, but I'm just trying to take the analogy of the iPod to basically cameras. But yeah, like advertise beautiful photos instead of like high quality beautiful photos, so detailed that you can almost touch them or something like this. I don't know. Trying to come up with an example at 3 a.m. after such a long day. But anyway, I hope maybe now is a good time to go check out this podcast episode. And I hope these kind of insights that I'm sharing are somewhat helpful to you. And yeah, now let's close off by solving the mystery of why I'm up until now. And it's because I was just working on my current project. Because today I spent a lot of the day commuting, I didn't have that much time to kind of sit down and work. So I kind of started working at like 11 p.m. and now it's 3 a.m. So yeah, kind of I think maybe it was earlier than 11 p.m. I think it was at 10 p.m. rather than 11 p.m. But I'm happy with the progress that I've made. I think I have some blockers, but I already scheduled the messages for tomorrow morning to ask some of my colleagues for some help. So yeah, now all I have to do is go to sleep and yeah, try to get some sleep before my first meeting of the day, which is gonna be at 10:30 a.m. So I actually need to put a alarm if I'm gonna wake up in time for this meeting. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about for today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, Stone, right before this one, or you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, night, whichever time of day it is where you are right now. Bye for now, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye!